Okay, so let me just be honest with you all. I think some of my subscribers feel abandoned because I posted a video yesterday and I lost 3 subscribers. So I figured, oh Jesus! So I figured let me come on today, drop another video for you all. I'm getting ready to go to the office. I changed my hair, as you all can see, because the other one, even though y'all love the hair, I like this one better. I like a little length. Okay. I know you all like the waves. Actually, I might put that one back on for a second. You all like the wavy joint. I actually like, I'm not really feeling this, but I do like length instead of just curl. Okay. So I decided I'm going to change my hair. And I'm going to do a quick little get ready with me. Well, I'm almost ready. Before I go to the office. Hey everybody, what's going on? This is your girl Catrice and welcome to Cocktail Hour with Catrice. I hope that you all are doing well. Today is Monday, June the 10th, 2024. I was going to say May earlier when I was trying to record this earlier. I was going to say May, but it's June, okay? And it is I think this is going to be the second full week of June, if I'm not mistaken. You know my life, child. Anyway. Hope that you all are doing well. I figured I would give you all a video because, like I said in the preview video, I think that my subscribers think that I abandoned them, and I definitely did not. It is just life has been lifing for me. Let me just share with you all a little bit more behind the scenes, and also why the aunties love your girl. A lot of you all should know that back in April, actually April the 13th, I decided before that, but April 13th, I moved in with a family friend. And I had known this man for almost 20 years of my life. My family knows him. I thought we were cool. I thought it was okay. So I had that situation happen back in March. I said, I'm going to just move in with him for safety and to save money. That ended up being the absolute worst decision of my life. Okay. I was out of there. Picture it. April 13th, I move in. April 14th, I start introducing him to some people in my life. By the April 21st, which was a Sunday, go back and look at your calendar, I was calling the police on this man because he was like, you got to get out by the 10th, which was not 30 days. And actually in Baltimore City, it's 60 days, which is, so he was doing what they call a retaliatory eviction. And I was like, you can't do that. That's illegal. So called the police on him, which I don't think I told you all. Called the police on the man. And then I started my exit plan. I got really, really quiet. Like a lot of women do when they're trying to leave a really bad, poor situation. Got really, really quiet. And then on May the 6th, actually, let's go back to Cinco de Mayo, May the 5th, I come back in from hanging out with my sister and her friend. And he was like, oh, so what's on your agenda tomorrow? And I said, oh, I'm moving. And he was like, what, you're moving? And I'm like, yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow. The movers will be here by X amount of time. We'll be out of here by this time. Sayonara. He thought I was joking. He was like, wait a minute, you can't leave. Because he thought in his mind, I'm going to just tell y'all the truth. Can I just tell y'all the truth? Okay, I'm going to tell y'all the truth. He got mad because I'm dating someone. That's really what it is. Mind you, this man has never in this lifetime, like, you know what I mean? Like, showed me any signs of wanting to be with me. I mean, I'm not going to say that he didn't think I was attractive, but you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like that. So I started bringing my friend around. And I was careful to do it at the beginning. I did not bring him around at the beginning because I wanted to see what was going to happen. And sure enough, sure as the day is long, he started to watch where we were going. Like when my friend would come pick me up, he would like almost stalk me. One time we left, it was on the 20th of April, the day before he asked me to leave actually. And we had went to go to dinner and then ultimately to watch the fight. And my friend came and picked me up. He's a gentleman. He opens up my doors and everything. So he was watching us leave. And my friend was like, oh my God, like what is going on with this dude? And he was like, dude is mad weird. Mind you, he's in the window in his bedroom watching us leave. So I'm like, okay. He rings my phone. I'm like, what do you want? And he's just like, what did that Negro say? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, we're not doing that. So we're heading to the restaurant. He's on the phone trying to go off. My friend is like, they're both talking. I'm like, I'm not doing this. This is stupid. Like, why are you even calling my phone about something to do with my friend? Why are you even entertaining it? Like, this is dumb. We get to go get some pizza at one of my local spots. It's a really nice spot. It's like gourmet New York pizza. They have a bar. It's really nice. So we go there, and then I think we went back to the house, and I think I picked up something, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, we went straight to my friend's house. That's what we did. Went straight to his house to watch the fight, because you all know I love boxing. If you don't know, now you know I love boxing. So get to his house, we're watching boxing. Now, this is one thing that I should have done. I should have just packed a bag and stayed, okay? Because the dude that I was staying with, he was like, only thing I ask you to do is if you're coming in late, let me know. Because, he has like a stroke and all that stuff. So he doesn't like people just coming in the house late. I get that. I didn't do that. So that was where I messed up. I'm not taking full ownership, but I did mess up on that. I think my friend dropped me off at like 2:30 in the morning or something. I woke up the next morning, hit the gym, ran some errands, and then boom, I'm in the office, which I was renting office space as well. And he like slams the door, and then because like where the main door you walk in at, it was in the back where my office was, so he like slams the door and then goes outside and comes back and he slams that door. And then when I came out, he was like, I think you need to find somewhere to go. Like looking at me like, make a decision, me or him, like that kind of look. And I was just like, wait, what do you mean? I've already paid you? He was like, this is not gonna work. I'm gonna end up, doing something to this guy. Like, I'm not built for this. I can't have this in my house. You gotta go. And y'all don't know me. Can I be honest? Y'all don't know me. I got on the phone with my sister. I'm going off. And I was like, I'm calling the police because this is stupid. Like, you can't just put me out. I just moved in here. I was there 8 days. Like, that day was day number 8. It was stupid. So, excuse me, all in all, by the 22nd, which was that Monday, I went to the court. I talked to a lawyer, and then I went to the office. I stayed at the office all day long, and I forgot what else I did. It was a long day, but I went back to the house late. I just know I went back late, and then I started the process of looking for another place, getting everything together. God worked. Child, let me say something. God worked it out so well that I personally thought I was not going to be able to move because I had something on my background. They were like, "You're good. This was dismissed." The heavens opened up. I showed proof to the people here, and then boom, by May the 5th, I was telling him, and he had no clue. Oh, I'm leaving tomorrow morning. And he was like, you're joking, right? And I said, no. Because what he really wanted me to do was he wanted me to, I guess, be with him and take care of him. And I'm not a hospice wife, baby. Do you see all of this? A hospice? Baby, no. A hospice wife? I don't even want to be a wife. Definitely not a wife to you. And you want me? No. So I was like, yeah, no. So I shocked him, and he was like, you're really leaving? And I was like, yeah. And this is what he said that creeped me out. He whispered, like under his breath, I'm gonna miss you, Catrice. And I was like, oh my God, this guy is like. So long story short, woke up the next morning. Again, he's still thinking it's a joke. I have all this stuff, moving it downstairs, and at one point he was like, don't scratch up my walls. And I was like, yeah, I won't. You're good. You're fine. Shout out to the Wiser Council, because they gave me some really good advice. And mind you, I already knew what to do, but it was good to hear someone give me some input. I did everything they told me to do. I was pleasant. I was peaceful. I was quiet. Like, I made zero noise in the house when I was there. Like, if you really know me behind the scenes, because you all know I'm like a really big nonprofit nerd. Love nonprofit. Love writing. Well, I don't love writing grants, but I do write grants. So I can get plugged in You know, if I have like a podcast or headphones in, I'm plugged in. Any kind of work that I do, I'm the same way. Even if I'm preparing for YouTube, I'm like always plugged in. People don't think that I'm like nerdy, but I don't care. Like, I love being that person that likes doing like weird stuff like policies and procedures, accreditations. Like, that's what I love to do. So for me, it's like I'm plugged in. So I'm really quiet in the house. Even when I'm here, you rarely hear anything from me. You might hear like my phone going off because of like the YouTube videos and stuff, but you don't hear me doing a lot of talking. Sidebar, when I had my surgery and my sister stayed with me back in October 2022, I was astonished of how much she talked on the phone, because I was just like, mind you, I'm more extroverted than she is. You know, we're twins. So she's extremely introverted. Like, my sister is a complete introvert, but she sit on the phone all day. I said, bitch, I mean, even when I went to her house, when I was in transition, right? And I was like, you stay on the phone all day, child. Like, what in the world? And she was just like, yeah. And her dog would look at me like, and she'd go back to sleep. You know how dogs do. In my mind, she was co-signing, but she wasn't co-signing. So yeah, so I moved in here. Everything was well. I have not heard from this man. This is how I know he's pissed, because he hasn't reached out to me. He hasn't said anything, and I'm okay with that. I'm truly okay with that. Now, let me share some things with you all that I think is absolutely cute when I am talking to people on and offline or by email here on YouTube. And that is, and I get this all the time, so I'm going to address it once and for all. And some people might not feel this way. If this is not you, girl, I understand. Just bypass it. You can fast forward. But I get a lot of times that I have an old soul. And let me just share with you all where that comes from. Okay, that comes from pretty much both sides of my family. My mom had 7 siblings. First of all, my mom had my sister and I when she was like 30 something. So she was older when she had us. And she had 7 siblings. My father had 4. Both matriarchs. I grew up with both matriarchs up until the age of 12. My mother's mother passed when I was 12 years old in like the 90s. And then my father's mother passed after both of my parents passed away. I know, right? Like, what? So let me give you the story. My mom's mom had 8 children early. And my grandfather, who was father to 7 of the 8, had died, I think, at age 29 of cirrhosis of the liver. So he didn't last long at all. My mom's mom started working. She even got her GED before she passed away, because she started having kids really, really early. And so she was always that hands-on grandmother, right? So I was always around her or my aunts and stuff. And just always around older energy. Just always around older energy. Like, my mom really kind of left us with my grandmother a lot of times, because, you know, she had to work, or, you know, like, just parent stuff. She had to do some things to do. So we were always just around older energy. On my father's side, I want to say my grandmother on my father's side started having kids young as well, because my current matriarch aunt is 86. My grandmother would be 100. So probably about, yeah, something like that. She would be actually 101 if she was still living. So I was always with my now matriarch aunt, right, on my father's side, or my grandmother on my father's side, or my grandmother on my mom's side. Okay, I was with some of my aunties every now and then, but it wasn't like I was with grandma. That makes sense. And then my other grandmother, she had a name. We didn't call her grandma. We called her, like, you know, a special name, right? So I always get that. And then let's fast forward to when I before I got into the ministry. This is in my book, by the way. So I'm working at an assisted living home back in the early 2000s. And, you know, growing up in the AME church, I was always prophetic and didn't realize what the prophetic was. So I think when I was like in my early 20s, I started asking God, like, send me someone that's going to help me to understand who you are. Just a simple prayer. Okay. Send me someone. This is in my book. send me someone that's going to help me understand who you are. And lo and behold, I was a supervisor on the second shift from 3 to 11. So one day, this my former supervisor, manager named Patty, a heavy-set Caucasian lady, she didn't even want to do the job. She hated the job. But she actually got the job over me. I applied for the job and they turned me down. And she was not qualified. But it's okay. It's fine. Whatever. So in walks Patty. And Patty says, Catrice, I have someone that I want you to train tonight. And I said, okay, no problem. In walks this woman, older woman. I think she was in her, at the time, I want to say she was in her 50s. Mid, like early, or no, it wasn't mid, probably early 50s, if not late 40s. But she looked older than that. She watches my channel, by the way, so she knows. But I want to say between 49 and 52-ish. She walks in the door. We meet. She had to be in her, hold on, because she's got to be, is she 70 yet? I don't know. So she walks in. I introduce myself, and then give her, she's like, just show me where to go, show me my hall, I know what to do, show me the paperwork, we're good. You a matchmate, listen, this is a dream come true for me. I showed her hallway, I showed her the book, she did her job. So, I want to say it was like one day, I finished serving the residents or whatever, and sometimes we would sit down and have dinner together as a staff, or somebody would still be doing their work, but the majority of us would kind of sit around together after we got the residents settled and talk. And she was like, I'm going to sit over here and read my Bible. And I said, okay, cool, no problem. So one day I said, hey, do you mind if I sit with you, so we can talk a little bit? I want to get to know who you are. I'm nosy. That was me, right? And I wasn't nosy in a catty way. I've never been catty. I don't like women that do catty stuff. If you give me catty energy, we are done. Like, I can't. So I sit down with her. Let me actually do that. Hold on. Sorry, I want to get my brush to do my bang. So I sit down with her and we start talking, and she starts, I forgot even how we even got on the conversation of God. And I was just sharing with her, like, I've been on this new journey. Like, I really want to know more about God. Gave her, like, my history of, like, the organization I, grew up in, which is the AME organization. And I was just like, I have always just wanted, like, my own relationship. And I told her, like, what I had prayed to God. And we became really, really close. I mean, like, close to the point where we don't talk as much as we used to. But, like, to this day, we can pick up on the phone like nothing ever happened. And just talk and love on each other and all that good stuff. So, yeah, she was the one that introduced me to Christ. I remember receiving Christ at that same table. Like, we would sit down we couldn't sit down for hours on end, but it seemed like hours on end. And I started to get really excited about, working with her and all that good stuff. We even started hanging out after work. Not like at night, but like, off the clock. Like, so if we were off on like a Thursday or a Saturday, like, we would hang out. Mind you, I am in my early 20s, so I'm hanging out with this older person, and we're like actually friends. Now, let me give you all some tea. Because she had she has two sons. One's biological, one's adopted. Now, when I first met her son, and I'm going to break the windows open with this one, because if him and his wife watching, sorry. So I met her son, her oldest son, because her youngest son was in middle school at the time. So I met her older son, when I went to her house one time, and I was like, okay, he's cute. Like, he was my type. And mind you, at the time, I liked men who had, like, who were heavy. Okay, if you look like you had diabetes or heart disease, or no, not diabetes, the diabetes. If you look like you had the diabetes or heart disease, or I'm so mean. But anyway, I like big men. So when I met him, I was like, oh, he's cute. Okay. And I remember her saying, you all are not to date. This is your brother in Christ. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm so glad she did that. We tried. I ain't going to lie. She knew we tried to do. I was like, I'm going to just go ahead and do me because, okay, why I can't talk to him? He fine. He wasn't sexy, but he was like my kind of fine. Plus, he was real, thick. Oh, Jesus. So anyway, she was like, you all are not to date. And here's why. You all, you and I are connected because, not just because of work, but we're connected because of Christ. And I look at you like you're my spiritual daughter. This is my son. And he has and mind you, I think what she was trying to do, quiet as this cat, I think she was trying to save me from who he was at the time, which she did, because he was not a man at the time that I needed to deal with. Present day, he and I are still brother and sister in Christ. We have never done anything. We've never crossed the line outside of trying to talk during that period of time in our lives. He's now happily married. He has a thriving business. Y'all check him out too. I might see if he want to help sponsor this video, sponsor future videos. He does a fantastic job with transportation in the area. He does like high profile black car service in the area. Dope guy, lovely, wonderful wife. She is saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost. He is now saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost. He was a deacon. Like, he's just a great person. Okay, we just don't talk like that. Now, we do bicker like brother and sister in Christ. Like, he loves to pick with me, but I think the last time he learned don't do it, because we was on the church ground, and he picked with me one time, and I was like, that's why you're gonna go straight to hell. Like, I just cussed him out. And she was like, oh my God, Catrice. And I was like, well, he keep messing with me, so which, like, you already know how my mouth is. Stop playing with me. Because I'm like, I'm not a killer, but don't push me. I am cool until I'm not. So that's the story of how I got saved. Her name is, we call her Nana. That's her nickname. That's her nickname for everybody. Everybody calls her Nana. Nana does watch my channel. She'll tell me like, oh, I saw when you was talking about so and so, and I'm gonna tell you the truth. You was right, Catrice. Da, 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 da. I'm like, okay, because I'm not gonna say I live for her approval, but I like to make her proud. Although she knows that I still drink a little bit and I cuss a lot. Or I cuss, yeah. I don't have a reckless mouth, but it can be a lot, because if I get pissed enough, y'all pray for your girl cocktails. How about that? Okay, so let me share with you all about the ministry. Let me tell you, because me being with older women did not stop with Nana. It didn't stop with Nana. So shortly after accepting Christ with Nana, I started to pray a similar prayer about church. Now, this is where it gets good. So I'm like, you know what? Okay, so I'm saved now, but I really feel like I need more. Like, I feel like I need to be in the council of the wise. I need to be taught. Like, I'm really big on, if you come to my house, you'll see I have like a bookshelf just full of books, right? And actually I've downsized, because my book cabinet was just like ridiculous at one point. Like, I was just buying books. My first bags of taking stuff out of my first apartment before I moved here was nothing but books. I think I had like 15 bags of books, just books on top of books. So I started to pray this prayer, and I remember, this is old school. This is back in the early 2000s. I said, I'm trying to find a church. I said, Lord, I want to learn more about you. Show me where to go. Point me in the direction of where I can learn more about you. So what I did was, I don't have a book. I went and picked up a really big, heavy telephone book. Yellow pages. This is old school. We don't do yellow pages anymore. The book was huge. Okay, so I pulled out the book, and I'm going through, and I'm like, churches. And then I said, you know what? No, I'm going to call my sister's coworker, because he and I became like really cool, whatever. We started hanging out at the clubs together. We started hanging out at the gay. Let me just tell the truth. We started hanging out at the gay clubs together, because he was gay. And he didn't want to say that he was gay. And he's still kind of, I'm not going to say he's living in the closet. I don't like the closet. I hate the closet. But he was like, just not out, right? So, but my best friend at that point in time, me and Zai were like friends for about 6 years or something. He was completely out. So he and I would already go to the club. So then when my sister's coworker found out that we were going to the club, he was like, oh, can I come out with y'all? And I was like, sure, whatever. Now, I'm not, but I'm just having a good time. Like, I used to love going to the club. I was in the club like Friday night. That was a regular night in Baltimore at the Paradox. If you know, you know. And Saturday night, because the owner of the club was a gay guy, and so he was like, no, we're gonna have a night, just, strictly gay night. Let's just do it. And we would have a whole blast. Like, y'all could not take me back in the day in the club, okay? Because if you all can imagine, like, me here on YouTube, like, and you all like, oh my gosh, she's great, or she's cool. That's how it was in the club, but worse. Like, it's to the point where I just ran into someone else and they were like, oh my God, Catrice, how you been? I haven't seen you in so and so and so and so, because we used to hang out at the club together. I met so many friends in the club. I was crazy. At both clubs, honey. Okay. So I called him up and I was like, look, I know you go to church. I'm trying to go. Like, where do you go? And he was like, oh, I go to this church in Annapolis. So I was like, I'm there. He said, meet me at the gas station and we'll go. So I get to the gas station. I wait for him. He pulls up. He was like, you ready? I pull right in back of him, and the church was right down the street. So I get to the church, and they're having service. Now, mind you, he walked all the way to the front. I'm nervous. So I find a seat, like, somewhere right in the middle, right? I had on this really cute maroon outfit, too, by the way. It was really, really cute. So he goes to the front of the church, and then I'm sitting in the middle, and then my future senior pastor started prophesying. And mind you, I knew a little bit about the prophetic, but I didn't know a lot. But I just knew that he was operating at a level where I was like, okay, Lord, if you are real, this is what we do, right? If you're real, now I've asked you to bring me someone that's going to make me learn about you. You sent me Nana. Then I said, I want to go to church. You brought me so-and-so. Now, I need you to talk to me in the service. Straight like that. I need you to give me something. And I need you to tell me exactly what you have for me. The mind of God was in the front. And my former senior pastor was a heavyset man. And he, at the time, I think he had like 3 male armor bearers, right? But he would take his time. And he would, kind of walk like this, right? So he comes down the aisle. And he stops right at me. And he says, God told me to tell you that you've been praying about this. You were asking about this. And you even asked for me to come over here to talk to you about this. And I cannot remember the entire prophetic word. Oh, but he was talking about like ministry and the mantle and this and that. And I was just like, oh my God, like, I can't believe you did that. Even though I was shocked, but I was shocked. I was nervous because I had never experienced anything like that before. I was also nervous because people were watching me, but I was just like, okay, Lord, I'm gonna go home and be really prayerful about the situation. And I was. So after that, I want to say I kept going, and once, I want to say it was definitely a Sunday, of course, but it was one Sunday. I think I had been there for like maybe going on 2 months, just visiting. I hadn't joined yet. And my co-pastor, who I would eventually walk with in ministry, she actually like came over to me and started praying for me, started telling me like prophetically like what my role was in the fivefold. And I remember after that service, she had gotten her assistant, adjutant, chief armor bearer to come over and talk to me, and also the girl who is my age, and I just saw her for New Year's Eve, no joke. She said, Pastor wants you to, at this point I had joined, and she was like, she wants you to start traveling with her. And I'll never forget, she came to me and she said, I love how you carry yourself. Now, mind you, I'm a heavy woman at this point. Like, I'm about 3 something. But I was working out, losing weight. And she was like, I love how you carry yourself. She said, people always talk about my walk, Jill. Okay. If you know, you know. So she said, I love how you carry yourself. I love how you dress. Like, oh my God. And I really wasn't that super fashionable. I was just like being me. So, and mind you, that's how my grandmother was on my father's side. Like, she was really big into my grandmother was that girl in the church. She was that one. She dressed in a nice, but her hat were massive. Like, she walked in the door, like, even for her funeral, we all wore hats because that's what that was what she was known for at the church. She had these huge church hats, right? So I was like, you know what? I'm going to just be prayerful and ask God the entire way what I should do. And every step of the way, he just started ordering my steps. And so I started traveling with her 3 months into me being at the church. And then I did not stop traveling with her until, I want to say it was about 2013, because by then my father had passed away. I was starting to detach, and my mom had got re-diagnosed with cancer. So I was just like, okay. And then I was rebelling big time. I was just like, you all know how it is sometimes. You want God to do something, but he's not moving quick enough for you. And you're like, you know what, forget it, I'll do it myself. Say less, Lord, I got it, just be an extra job. So that's what happened. So yeah, I was always around older women, even to this day. Like, I have a friend that's 70. Oh my God, like, what is my life? I have a friend that's 70. She lives in Florida. I go to Florida. I used to go often. I have not gone because of money. So, but I have a girlfriend that's 70. My other girlfriend, who I talk to pretty much 3-4 days a week, because I actually help her do some stuff too. She's not computer literate, so I do her stuff. She is 67. She'll be 68 this week. Like, she got married a few weeks ago. I helped her with the wedding. My sister came. For those of you all like, oh my God, are you and your sister close? We are close. Now I'm gonna tell y'all a story about that. We were not always close. But so what is it? I helped her with her wedding. She's now married to the love of her life, and they are a gorgeous couple. Okay, he is 6'6", honey. Okay, tall, great, but honey, fine. Her husband is a good-looking man, and she's a fox. My girl is a fox. Okay, I'm just excited to say that my girl is a fox. Anyway, so yeah, I just have always had a lot of energy around me that's been older, more mature. But I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. If you get to know me, I can be a clown, right? And I will also be honest. I did a TikTok about this. If you all can find it, I hope that you enjoy it. I'm not that responsible. Because, I'm just not. Like, my sister actually, and it's so funny because, like, when it's just my sister and we're talking, I feel young and playful. When I'm around other people, it's different. But out of the both of me and my sister, I am the one that is the least responsible. Okay? It is the most weirdest dynamic because she's completely introverted. She is type A all the way. And my friend is too, which is weird. Like, he's type A. She's like, it's just like, oh my God. And I'm just like, yeah, it's a Tuesday and I want to go to Florida tomorrow. Like, I'm very impulsive, even though I can't just get up and move like that anymore like I used to because of money. Or it's a Tuesday. I'm going out, like, I'm leave out of my house at like 7 o'clock to go to dinner. I'll be back, that kind of thing. So yeah, that is why, I figured that you all might want to know that because I get that a lot. I get that a lot. I get that from mostly the older women and guys that follow me on YouTube when they email me. And I think some people are actually shocked that I respond. I'm like, girl, I'm going to respond to you. I try to. Now, if you're on IG and you message me, baby, I might not get back to you. Catrice and Meta, I just don't mix with Meta. I'm on the Instagram. I'm on the Facebook. I don't mix. I don't really care for Meta like that. I do prefer YouTube and TikTok. My two favorite platforms. Everything else is but YouTube and TikTok are my absolute favorite social media websites to use on a daily basis. I'm always on TikTok. I love TikTok. I don't know. I think TikTok was around way before I even found out about what it was. And then when I first started watching it, it would just give me like young black men in sweatpants. Hold on one second. People calling me getting on my nerves. I'm not even going to respond to that right now. I'm going to finish talking to y'all. So, yeah. So out of the both of us, I am the least responsible. But let me also share this with you guys. A little fun fact about me being a twin, okay? People think that twins are best friends. Why do y'all think that? As a twin of 42 years, right? I'm here to inform you that you can have a twin brother or sister, identical or fraternal, and you all don't have to be best friends. It's not like, okay, I have a twin, it's a built-in best friend. No. Okay? My sister and I, we went through hell growing up together. We were always compared to each other, and we actually we lost a lot of years doing this. We kind of took on what people were saying and like we're like going against each other. It was stupid. And now looking back in hindsight, it's like years wasted, but it's okay because God knew what he was doing. This is how my sister and I got close again. So again, we didn't hate each other. We just didn't always see eye to eye, and we would always fight. Oh my God, it was bad. Especially like middle school, high school. We would always fight. We should drive my mother crazy, actually, how much we used to fight. So funny that now we're kind of close. And she just called me. So this is how my sister and I got close. No joke. So it is 2014. And my mother is... how do I say this? Because I don't want to cry. My mom... So I think it started off at stage 3 cancer. And then it progressed once it got on to... I think it started on stage 2 or 3. It wasn't stage 1 because she had stage 1 the first time. So I want to say it was stage 2 or 3 at this time. And she, apparently the cancer had traveled to her liver. And so that makes the cancer stage 4, according to what the doctor told us. So it is now, I want to say February. Is it February? She died in March. So January, February, March. Yeah, it's February. And keep in mind, I am taking care of my mom for the majority of the time. My sister, she helped. Not gonna say she didn't help, but I was the main caregiver. My sister was like the person who handled all the admin stuff. I handled the hands-on care because of what I did back in those days working at Sunrise. And I love Sunrise Senior Living, by the way. So it's February, and I remember, let's go back because that's when my Nana's son got married. He got married on Valentine's Day. And since I was the main caregiver, my aunt had came up. She said, you want to go to a wedding? Go. I think it was a Friday night. She said, go. Now, I was seeing someone at the time, but he claimed he had to do some schoolwork. That was a lie. Anyway, so I said, well, I want to go to the wedding. And I'm probably just going to do dinner. She was like, just go. So I went to the wedding and had a great time. Saw the guy that I should have married. He is a minister. He doesn't I guess he preaches when he gets called, but whatever. But we had dated previously or whatever. He was there trying to, he wasn't trying to woo me, but trying to make small talk. You know how they do it after church, like, oh, you know, how you been? Everything's okay, da 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 da. And I was like, yeah. So anyway, I went to dinner after that alone, and I like to do that. I've always loved to date myself since the early 2000s, and when I got back, my aunt said, we need for you to take a break. You've been working a lot with your mom. We know it's stressful. Let me and the sisters know, and we'll come up, we'll take care of your mom. Just let me know. So I was like, okay. So I booked a room. I think my sister worked at the Marriott at the time. I booked a room. She gave me a discount. Okay. So she didn't hate me. And I went. And I was supposed to be there from, I think, Friday to like Monday morning. And I get a call on Sunday. Your mom's in the hospital. You need to come back home. And my sister actually called. She said, Mom's in the hospital. So I went back. And they eventually said, hey, if this continues to go down this route, I'm going to let you know. The doctor's like, we're going to have to consider hospice. And I was like, okay. So that's what eventually happened. We had to put my mom on hospice with stage 4 breast cancer, and we started taking turns. My sister would come, I would leave, or I would go to work. My aunt would come. They would sit with us. We gave them all keys to the house, and I might leave from my mom for like 10-15 minutes, and somebody would pop up because I had to go to work. And so, fast forward, you're gonna hear me say that a lot because I'm getting nervous. So we took her to the hospital one more time, because this is after 2 separate cancer treatments. One of them almost took her out of here. It was a chemo called Halaven, and it almost took her out of here. And then the other medicine seemed to work really, really well. I think it was Taxotere, if I'm not mistaken. That one started working really well for her. She, she did experience like the hair loss and everything, but she was always in decent spirits. Like, she was, if she was down, a lot of times we wouldn't really see it. So anyway, she started to notice that I was getting tired. She started noticing Catrice isn't sleeping. My sister was gone. She was with her ex at the time. And so she would come in and help. But I was like, when I got home, I would cook her dinner. Like, I would do everything. I would do her blood pressure, do her blood sugar. Like, I did everything. She would get up in the middle of the night with her walker. I would be up. Like, where are you going? What are you doing? So, she pulled my sister and I up, and she said, what did she say to us? She said, because they had mentioned a hospice house. And so she was like, I think I'm going to do the hospice house. That way you all don't have to worry about me. And I was like, well, that's not going to happen, because we're going to be concerned. But I was getting tired. We were getting like burned at the stick. And so before we could do anything with the hospice house, that's when she progressively got worse. And then she ultimately passed away. Before she died, now I don't like this. This part I did not like. But it worked out in the end. You saying you took all the time to get to, yes, I did. Okay, just be patient. This is a 40-minute video. Leave me alone. So she said to me, she pulled my sister and I up. Now she could barely talk at this point. And she said, you all know that I'm getting ready to transition. Promise me. Now she made me promise 2 things, and I said no to one. She said, promise me you're going to marry a black man. I said no. Because I don't know who I'm going to fall in love with. He might be a really hot, tall, sexy Cuban. It might be a white man. I mean, I don't discriminate. So I told her no to that one. But she said, promise me that you all are going to get along. All you all do is fight. Promise me you're going to get along. And we were both saying that, and we said we promise. I was like, we promise. Okay. We're gonna get along, okay? That was short-lived right after she died, because I had this, thank God, my connections, and my pastor / connections, was gonna give us like the a church to use for free for my mother's funeral, or for like a discounted rate. I think it was for free, because the pastor there loved me so much, and I had done so much community work. He was like, hey, have the funeral here. We won't charge you. It's completely free. My sister said, no, we're having it at our cousin's church, which is a massive church, but it costs like $700. And I was like, we need to save money. And she's like, we're having it there. And what she did is she took the money there behind my back, and we had the funeral there. And so that was a little rocky at first, but I will say this. Although it was a bedside promise to my mother, my sister and I get along really well right now. We do have little bits, we're siblings. At the end of the day, we're sisters. So we're gonna fight, but we don't fight nearly as hard or rough or as serious as we used to when we were younger. It was really bad at one point. So yeah, but people are like, well, how do you not get along with your sister? I'm like, child, we sisters. Like, because you're a twin does not mean we are not joined at the hip now. Okay, we're not joined at the hip. So yeah, we're gonna have days where we don't get along, but right now we're good. We've been good. We did have one situation back in 2018, but that was resolved, and we continue on. Sometimes we might need a break. Okay, I'm only human. Y'all don't beat me up. I'm human. We might need a break from each other, and so we take those breaks when necessary, and we move on, because we ultimately know that we're all that we have. It's me, my sister, And then I have a second cousin who is a year older than us. Her mother is our first cousin on my father's side. So we're like, they used to call us double trouble when my sister and I were together, and triple trouble when we were with my other cousin. And that was a thing in itself, because my grandma was like, oh God, here comes triple trouble. Here they come all together. Oh Lord. You know? And, but we would have fun. Like, we would go hang out at the clubs together. Like, it was a great thing. So it's like I have two sisters. Okay. I have a twin, and then I have my cousin who's like my sister. Now, we do get into it sometimes too, but it's all sisterly love. No major issues whatsoever. I love her to death. And yeah, that's it. So I figured I would give you all a quick video, a little bit of behind the scenes, a little bit of story time as to why I am the way that I am, and I guess the way that people flock to me, because I get a lot of messages behind the scenes about Catrice, like, you know, you're such a wise, should they say wise and older soul, or they'll just say things like, you make me feel comforted. First of all, that is so sweet, because I just be like, oh my God. And I'm not even joking, like, it's, when I hear that, and I think about, like, how do I say it? When I think about, like, when I was, let's go back, when I was in ministry and seeing the shortage of the men of God, I'll say it like that. And being a 40-year-old woman myself, I'm single, no plans on getting married, by the way. I date, right? But I always feel special to know that, like, there are older, wiser women who trust the platform. And they're like, oh my God, I was concerned about you. Oh my God, like, you made my day. I remember one lady was just like, I was so depressed, and then you made me laugh. And I was like, oh my God, like, it was just so nice. And I don't take that for granted. Like, I really don't, because you all can watch anyone on social media. A lot of people do watch anyone on social media. Like, that's like over 1 million, I don't know how many users are on YouTube, but there's a lot of people to watch. And I'm so grateful that the people that follow me and subscribe and watch really enjoy the content. You know, sometimes it can get a little rough. Okay, we know it gets a little rough around the edges, because we got to talk about these pastors and these bishops. But I think people know that I have a heart for what I'm doing, because ultimately somebody's life could change, right? Like, a pastor or bishop, because the bishops be watching your girl Cocktail. The pastors and the bishops could change their mind today and say, you know what? I'm going to leave the children alone. I'm going to stop cheating on my wife, or vice versa. The first lady could say, I'm going to step outside of my shell and do my calling and serve God, and just do all the things that are necessary that I feel like need to be done for the edification of the body, right? And I just feel like if I've helped someone, I've done my job. You know what I'm saying? I often hear from the wiser counsel, like, this is your ministry. Hold on, y'all. I often hear from the wiser counsel, like, this is your ministry. And honestly, I be looking like, okay, I drink a little bit, I cuss a little bit, I'm a little reckless. How is this my, like, I be looking like, how is this my, like, really, Lord? Like, is this ministry, Jesus? Like, what is this? And I really try to stay away from that part. I really try to stay away from that. But it gets down to the point where it's like, you know what, Lord, whatever, just let me get the word out. And then let me get off the line and go mind my business. So if I help one person, it is worth doing. It is worth it in the end. Listen, I hope that you all enjoyed this story time. I enjoyed talking to you all about it. If you want to know more, or if you want me to share a little bit more, I will definitely do that. I'm an open book. Okay? I love to share. I love to talk. My sister actually says to me, how do you sit online and talk all day? And I'm just like, mind your business. Okay? Like, I'm talking to my people. Anyway, I love you guys. I hope that you all are well. Again, drop down in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this video. Let me know if you want to hear more. I have stories for days about the ministry, so I would love to share those stories with you all. You just let me know what you want to hear, and I'll share with you. Until next time, hit that like, that share, that subscribe, donate to the Cash App, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.